Hello, it's Eche, and today I want to talk about something specific, and this is that there is something off in the times that we're living. Like, something is weird, like deeply weird, and also I feel like there's a disconnection from the reality, from the people around us, from the things that we are doing, why we do it, what is like. Like I think a lot of people um, miss clarity in their life, and it's not a secret, and like it's not a secret that the world turned into the place that it is right now. Because I feel like there is a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is that a lot of people are getting their needs met from electronic technology, from their phones, from ChatGPT, from like AI in general, from just like online stuff, like friends. Like even a lot of people even prefer to text than to really speak with a normal person. And I think it's changed a lot in the after corona, because in the corona we had to be, like we had to make a lot of things online. We couldn't have a lot of contact to people around us, and even we're not allowed to go outside for a certain time. And then we had these extremes that people who don't do, for example, vaccination, they're vaccine, they're like this weird second class human beings. And like it was so weird because a lot of people, they didn't ask questions, and they just did what they thought is the right thing to do, just because the government was telling them to do it, or the news were telling them to do certain things. So, and then we noticed that people making actually groups, of course not everybody, of course there were people who were still talking, but we noticed that so many people, they just went with the river where the most people went, just because it was easier. And even if there were questions, even if there were uncertainties, a lot of people, they just did what everybody else did. So after that, I think that a lot of things changed. Even if we look at the statistics from depression, from suicide, even like general like happiness levels dropped. And like anxiety got higher. It was never as it is right now. And of course, like right now we are human beings. That means that we can almost to every situation adapt really fast, but that doesn't mean that it's going to make us happy, or we are going to be as okay as we were before. I mean, we don't really feel it, maybe, like clearly. We don't see the differences that clearly because, as I said, we adapted ourselves. That's why we survived so long until now, because we were able to adapt ourselves to many different, mostly social situations. It was not even the nature. Nature did whatever it did, and it was the natural way of maybe dying, maybe living. That was something else. But now we are just adapting to a new area. And I think a lot of people, I don't think that, I think most people are sensitive enough to sense some kind of change, even if they cannot talk about it as clearly as I do right now. Like it's not easy, as I said. And we are such complex beings, and also the system is so complex. It does everything, like it does everything that is in their power to manipulate you, to make you believe that everything is all right, this is the right way. And it's not as bad as it seems. Maybe it doesn't even seem that bad, but and it's scary, to be honest. Like, sometimes I feel like they're telling us that right in our faces, but we still, we don't change, we don't ask the right questions, I feel like. So first of all, of course, like, we are dependent on the technology so much more, and we are more and more independent individual beings, so we live for ourselves mostly, not for anybody else, and that the same goes for other people. The second thing is, because of social media, because of, I only see what is recommended to me. Even if me and you, we write the exact same thing in the YouTube search blog or Google, we're gonna have different results, because it's designed for you, like, for your interests, who you are as a person. So that leads to extreme opinions about what is right and what is wrong. And you know what it is about extremes? We get blind. So we are not open for other people. We have maybe even hate for other people, and whatever other means. Like, other can even be only language, like a different language, a different culture, a different skin color. Even like, I have no kids and you have kids, so you must be that kind of person. Or I'm not married, you're married. Like, politics, I'm not even going into that. It can be everything. And social media is designed to do exactly that. I feel like we get splitted more and more. And it's more normal than any time that we spend so much consuming. Like, we spend so much time and money consuming. It's mostly the only thing that we do that gives us some kind of relief. But relief from what? That's what I'm talking about. Like, we don't get bored anymore. We are not able to just shut down the whole world and just to look for answers inside, because that's a normal thing to do, because you have a lot of resources inside you. Everybody has, but they have to be used to get stronger, to get better, to be useful, and we don't get chances to do that. We should be dependent on everything around us, to consume things, to feel okay with ourselves. But doesn't work like that. That's just not natural. That's not designed for us. So I think those are one of the reasons why people are miserable, and me included, sometimes. Just that it's even like hard to even talk with people, to be in contact, to, exchange ideas, not to be so emotionally dependent on what the other people is going to say or how they react, And the other thing is, of course, because so many people have these extremes, we tend to, even when we don't know people, and I think that changed a lot. Before Corona, it was not that it was not that harsh, Nowadays, you could hate anybody for everything, and I think this thing about acceptance, diversity, it gets backwards. It really gets backwards. So, it's weird, I think, because we think that we are evolving, but I think in so many different ways we go back. But now I want to talk about something maybe more positive. For me, at least it is. So that's the reason why I feel like even right now I'm even stronger than I was before all of this happened, even if I was happier or more like in the present moment, much more, less anxiety, less fear, more acceptance for people around me, and I felt that like life was just easier, I think. That's how I'm feeling. There were difficulties, but the difficulties were not, it was not scaring me that much as it does right now. So, but I think because we are going into a really, really dark place, to be honest, like, I really don't, like, it's just hard to change the system that we have right now in a system without getting to a really, really dark time. Because I think people are, it's just so well designed that we can make people sleep and be really like consumed and like, entertainment to be just like do whatever it takes to do, because you have so much entertainment. You have entertainment all the time, so you don't have to think about things. You don't have to feel things. Even if you feel like you don't even see any sense for your life, you don't feel any kind of love or like good, like positive emotions for other people, like emotions that make you feel that you're actually useful, you're strong, nothing at all, but you still like feel so much dopamine and pleasure and all of these things. Like even just watching shorts, it just stops you from, when something like a hard thought comes up, but you stop and you take your phone, and that's it. This hard situation in your mind is just gone. So you're not going to look for solutions for this problematic situation. So you're going to be okay with it after a certain time. But it's not going to fulfill you. So that's the reason why I think that even if there are not a lot of people, but I think some people are even much more stronger into their like the truth of their self. And I think that doesn't take a lot of people, because I think when people are suffering, they're looking for solutions, even if it's unconsciously. And most people, they look for solutions from other people, like other real people. And if they see somebody who is not suffering as much, or who seems to have some kind of answers, like they are not even talking, but it's, as I said, I didn't say that clearly, I think, but I thought about it. I think that some things we can not explain, and maybe we were evolved in those certain areas, like before real civilization and before like this capitalist system, we had other strengths that we could use. But I think because it, like in this, for me, our system is designed for slavery, because you are not able to choose. If you're not gonna survive in the most cases if you don't have money. So you are dependent on give your whole to a system, because the system needs to make more money, or the system needs to function, whatever. But you cannot choose if you're really going to do it, if you want to do it, how much you're going to do it, how you're going to do it. You just have to function. Okay, you have to be productive to show that you're worthy. Your worth comes from your productivity. Okay, so what happens is, in this system, we like we get teach that you're only valuable if you do certain things. You're only valuable if you have money. So a lot of things that would be the real values, for example, or the real strengths that we needed to function in a society that could give most people the most that they need, they could give those people a fulfillment, a sense of purpose, a sense of love for each other, a sense of community, is just getting forgotten because the most valuable thing right now is money. Okay? So either you're going to choose to be in that system with all of the things that I told about right now, or you're going to say, okay, no, that those are not my values. I don't want to be bad to you because you don't have any money, and I don't want to be just good to you because you have money. I don't want to change myself just because you have power. I don't want to obey just because like it's obeying what else it is. If you shouldn't be, if you can't have, if for me it's just so clear. I don't see any, like, it's not even needed to have more explanation about it, because we are here in this world to be creative, to create. That's why we love like artists, because they only create, like they try to. Of course, even like the creativity, like artists who make art, even those parts of our universe, like of our system, they get a lot of influence from the capitalist system, of course, but still something is happening. Like there's still light, and that's what I'm telling. Like something is weirdly off. Like something is weird about the time that we are living right now. And I feel like even if we deny everything, somehow deeply within we feel certain things, and it's so unbearable that we can't just go on. I think that's what's happening right now. That's maybe you hear so many more voices those days, but you know what, I have bad news, because those voices will be louder, but the back voices, the voices that don't want you to be that loud, will be even louder, and maybe it's going to be like violently loud. But after, as I said, like I believe that after those dark times, maybe those dark times are needed. I'm sorry to say that, but if it wouldn't be needed, we would change things. This suffering would be enough to say, okay, I don't think that we should live that way. I don't think that this is the right thing to do. This is the right way to go. Let's change something. If you suffer, I'm suffering. If I'm suffering, you should be suffering. Like, why are we suffering? We should ask ourselves those questions. Why are we like being more and more blind and denial about so many different things? We are gonna die one day, okay? It's not gonna, like, either we are going to live a life that's worthy, that has some kind of purpose, value, like you have your things that are actually true to you, and nobody told you to believe that in a, I don't know what kind of way, like in a systematic way, in an emotional way, whatever. Like you just know it in you with your experiences, everyday experiences, that you know why you're living, you know what you want to change in this world, and you do it. And you don't have to do any big things, you can do the little things. Yeah. And beauty about it is when you choose more and more to go what feels right, to go to do what is right for you, something happens. And that's, I think, what's happening right now. As I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I just feel that a lot of people, they're not here anymore, you know. If you talk with them, they don't really listen anymore. They don't look into your eyes. I mean, they look, maybe you know what I mean, but they don't. It's just empty, you know? And I don't know, I just feel so much more stiffness in people, like coldness in people, you know? Just like getting through, you know? And I don't think we should go anywhere, especially after this, like after all of what we reached. Maybe sometimes we just also have to listen. Even when you breathe, you don't only take, you also give, right? You inhale and then you're exhaling. You're talking and then you're listening. You're cooking and then you're eating. You're sleeping and then you're awake. It's daytime, then it's night. It's not dark and then it's dark, you know? Like everything is in balance. Why shouldn't our life in general be in balance? Why shouldn't we look for silence, you know? Just to listen sometimes, you know, not just to make, grow. Maybe even come, you know, get smaller in some things. Take things out than just to gain, you know? I don't think it's good for us. Okay, thank you so much for listening. I like to share my thoughts with you. I feel like we all should do it if we think that maybe it can be of value for other people. And I see you the next time. Bye.